It was a cold, moonless night. Sarah was alone in her house, curled up with a book. She could hear nothing but an occasional creak of the old floorboards. As she turned a page, a soft, slow tapping echoed from the window. She froze, thinking it was a tree branch. It continued louder this time. She went up to the window slowly, peering out the window. Nothing. The tapping stopped. Just when she was about to turn away, she heard it again, this time on the other side of the room. She whirled around, heart pounding. The tapping was inside. Someone was in her house waiting. Late at night one evening, Tom was in his home office when he distinctly heard a faint voice calling him by name. Tom. Tom. He stopped working. He was confused. He hadn't heard the voice come from anywhere around him, but sounded like his mother who lived miles away. His phone showed no calls, so he shrugged it off as his imagination. However, the voice came again. This time closer, Tom. Come down the basement. His heart pounded. The basement had its lock. He hadn't set foot there for years. Reluctant, he shone a flashlight and sidled up to the basement door that stood half open. But then it spoke from those dark stairs. I'm waiting, Tom. He pushed inside, the door behind him slamming tight. A whisper said from the shadows, You shouldn't have come. Samantha was lying in bed, scrolling through her phone, when she heard a faint knocking at her window. It was late, too late for anyone to be outside. She hesitated, wondering if it was just the wind. But the knocking continued, soft, rhythmic. Curious, she got up and pulled the blinds aside. There was no one there. Relieved, she went back to bed. But just as she pulled the covers up, the knocking came again. This time from the closet. Her breath caught in her throat. She crept toward the closet, slowly opening the door. Inside, her phone was sitting on the shelf, screen lit up with a message. I'm right behind you. Jason's heart pounded as he darted down the alley, clutching the black briefcase like his life depended on it, because it did. Behind him, heavy footsteps thundered closer. Stop, a voice roared. He didn't. He couldn't. The briefcase wasn't just worth millions, it was the key to everything. Jason vaulted over a dumpster, landing hard but not stopping. Up ahead, a chain-link fence loomed. Too high. No time to think. He scrambled up, the metal biting into his hands, and threw himself over just as a bullet ricocheted inches away. He hit the ground running, dodging into an abandoned warehouse. Darkness swallowed him whole. Footsteps slowed. You can't run forever. The voice taunted closer now. Jason smirked, backing into the shadows. Who's running? He whispered, clicking the detonator. Boom. Mia stepped into the elevator, tapping the button for the 45th floor. The door slid shut, and she sighed, leaning against the wall. Just another day at the office. Halfway up, the elevator jolted, throwing her off balance. The lights flickered, then died. Her heart raced as the elevator started dropping. Fast. She smashed the emergency button. Nothing. The floor display blinked erratically, counting down 20, 15, 10. A voice crackled through the speaker. Hold on tight. Who's there? She screamed, clutching the railing. No response. The elevator plummeted, her stomach in free fall. At the last second, it screeched to a halt, throwing her to the floor. The doors opened. Not the lobby. A pitch-black corridor stretched ahead. Welcome, said the voice again. Your test begins now. Liam's phone buzzed at 3:17 a.m. A text from an unknown number. Leave. Now. He blinked at the screen, groggy. Wrong number, he muttered, tossing the phone aside. Seconds later, another buzz. This time a photo, his living room. Taken right now. Liam shot out of bed, heart pounding. He grabbed a baseball bat and crept toward the door. The house was eerily silent, save for the faint creak of floorboards. Someone was inside. His phone buzzed again, too late. The lights went out. Panic surged as he spun around, swinging the bat wildly in the dark. Heavy breathing echoed behind him. Before he could scream, a hand clamped over his mouth. The last thing Liam saw was his phone screen. Another text. We warned you. Whatever you do, don't press it, the scientist warned, her eyes locked on Jake. The shiny red button glowed ominously on the control panel. Jake smirked. What's the worst that could happen? The alarm blared the second his fingers slammed down. The ground trembled, lights flickered, and a deep, metallic groan echoed through the underground lab. What did you do? She screamed, frantically typing on the console. Behind them, the containment chamber shattered. Out stepped something. A towering creature, its eyes burning like molten lava, claws scraping against the walls. Jake stumbled back. Is that? Run, she yelled, pulling him by the arm as the creature roared, tearing through steel like paper. They sprinted down the corridor as the lab collapsed around them. Jake glanced back. The creature was gaining. You had one job, she yelled. Yeah, Jake panted. And it was worth it.